Welcome in, everybody. Main Street today. We're heading to Joelton, Tennessee, and we're going to talk Monster Home Services with my friend Jameson Siebert. How are you, Big J?
Man, I'm doing better than good and better than most, Devin. How you doing?
I tell you what, after meeting you, I've kind of gone loopy looking at my house going, I'm scared to death. My gutters aren't up to snuff. I'm looking outside going, I should screen this in. I could get more use out of this patio.
Well, that's one thing about it. Devin, I wanted to talk this week just a little bit. I wanted to get down to kind of the nuts and bolts so people kind of understand what Monster Home Services is. Basically, I work for a lot of the big companies in town, a lot of that people are familiar with.
Right.
And then I went into the wholesale industry.
Right.
The companies that I was selling screen rooms and patio covers and things like that with, and other home improvement products. I became a wholesaler for a big metals manufacturer out of Houston, Texas. So I was actually selling a lot of the big dealers that people know about, the products that those dealers were putting in. And once I got into that part of the industry, I realized how much they were paying for them. So, there's a lot that goes into these television commercials and marketing, and you got commission salespeople and things like that. So we decided to open Monster because we knew we could offer people a better product at a better, more fair and reasonable price and still be able to give that customer great customer service. And that's why we actually formed Monster. This week we've gotten a lot of calls. It got warm outside for a day, about 70 degrees. And we got a lot of call for our screen room products, a lot of calls. And we actually set up a lot of appointments for them. We're actually 3 or 4, I think we're maybe 5 weeks out right now on screen room products. And we're also putting in glass room products up under areas to turn them into 4-season rooms. But people are realizing what we're charging. I mean, I was down in College Grove in this real big neighborhood, very nice neighborhood. And obviously these people work very hard for what they have. Let me just say that.
Yes.
But they were amazed, that the price that we were giving, we actually, and we're using a flat spline screen material. This screen right here is not going to blow out. It's not going to get wavy. It's not going to breathe on you. It's a baked on enamel finish. It's got a 25-year warranty on the finish. You don't have to worry about it oxidizing, looking like grandma's old screen. At 140 mile an hour winds. We've got a big old fan sitting in front of it, and we've got this screen tested, and the screen didn't come out. So it's a great product. Also, what we've been doing for our customers is we've been including privacy screen. So,
that's the coolest thing ever. Oh, yes.
You've seen that. So privacy screen, when you have one of these new houses or you're on one of these new developments and you're putting a screen room in, or you have an existing top that you want to screen in, so you don't have the flies flying in your potato salad and the bugs and things like that. We all go outside and cook and then we bring it in because we can't stand the bugs all in our food and mosquitoes. When you screen in these underneath existing small patios in a lot of these new neighborhoods and some older neighborhoods as well, what you get to do is you get to come in and enjoy that screen room area. You're still outside, but you're inside. But you're outside.
Yes.
But the thing that, our customers have found and they've been getting, prices from other customers is, I looked at one the other day that somebody wanted $10,000, $12,000 to do. And for the size it was about a, $4,000 job. It was very affordable and very, it just made sense. It's got to make sense. But we're actually including privacy screen with our screen rooms at no additional charge. We bought a bunch of it back here. I bought like 20 rolls. I got a good deal on it, and it's very strong. The cats aren't going to dig it out. The dogs aren't going to tear it up. It's strong. It blocks 80% of the UV light out, but we're getting a lot of them. We also got a lot of bronze and clay material, which is kind of an off clay. We were able to purchase a lot of that at a discount price. So we're actually even able to lower our prices where other people are now raising them. So screen rooms are in. If you're going to get yours in by spring, you got to get on now because
that's right.
Crews and they are just dumpity. So.
Well, Monster Home Services LLC.com is where you can find them. They're on Facebook. You can see their full gallery, and they can do what everybody else does better. And well, I'm going to say better. I'm just because I've seen your work. It's just amazing. And you get a better price. That's the thing I liked about what you did. You got a better price, and then you guarantee your work. That's the other thing.
Yeah, you come. Every one of our warranties comes with a 5-year warranty. You know, another thing I've been seeing a lot lately is there's a lot of ads coming up on social media and other things for gutter guards. People are starting to get the gutter guards out because the maple seeds are going to fall and all that spring junk's going to get in the gutter, and then you're on dangerous ladders and things like that. I've seen a lot of ads on social media for it lately, and a lot of people showing 50% off and a lot of different things, gutter covers, get your gutters covered now, blah, blah, blah. Listen, here's something really neat I'm going to show you, okay? If you call any of those companies and ask them the price, they're not going to give you the price. They're going to have to send a salesperson out there, and they're going to sit there and they're going to beat you up and try to talk you into paying an exorbitant amount for plastic type products. You see this product a lot out there, or products like it out there. These products are okay, but for what you're paying, you could probably have your gutters cleaned, twice a year, 3 times a year for what you're paying for that. Look, at Monster, we have guards. This is one of our new products right here. It's a fantastic product. You're seeing it online. You're seeing a lot of commercials for it. I don't know if you can see. Let me see that.
There you go.
Are you ready? Monster Home Services gutter guards installed starting at $9 a foot. What can I do? I mean, I can't tell everybody my price. $9 a foot. Now, if it's second story, we add $1. I mean, this isn't rocket science. But you never have to get on a ladder again, and your foundation's protected, and you don't have to buy into the hype. This is the best. This is the best. Look, we're going to put a product up that's going to work. It's going to do exactly what you want it to do. You're not going to have to get up there and clean it. Now, if you get leaves in your valley, you're probably going to have to get that blown out at some point or another, just like any others. But you can put these products up. You can get rid of the leaf guards in the corners that pack the leaves back up in the corners, and you're always having to get up there and clean it up. No ladders. Hey, if your gutter's ever clogged, I'm going to clean them for free. So
can't beat that. Jamison Siebert, Big J of Monster Home Services, Joelton, Tennessee. We love turning you on to places in our local community. Thank you for your time today.
Hey, Devin, we love you. Thank you so much, and look forward to you. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and we'll.
Good. Thanks so much. You take care.
Great to see you, Devin. Bye, everybody.
Oh, I got a call from my mom, and when you've got family, and we've got a musical family, and my mom's always calling me Mama Pat. Y'all know her. She's 83, and she loves music, and she loves talent. And she called me, and she said, one of your little cousins sings. I said, Mom, you call me every week with one of my little cousins who sings. And honestly, some of them are okay, but please, Mom, would you quit giving my name out? And then I heard her sing. Y'all, I'm blown away. And I want you just to see a clip of her before you meet her. Here is Ashleigh Ray. Holy moly, this is Ashleigh Ray. And I said, y'all, it might be a little nepotism. I said, my little cousin, she's not little. She's a grown person. And she is coming to us live from Chicago today.
Yes. It's finally not snowing anymore, which is very nice. Like the sun came out today and it's 15 degrees, but it's like the sun's out. So it's summertime now.
In Chicago, I think that is summer.
Anything above 10 degrees, it's like it's summer.
Yeah, for a Texas girl transplanting that direction. Hey, tell everybody you have though you when Mama Pat told me about you, she said, "Oh, she works for Ernst and Young, so she's an accountant." You're not an accountant.
I am not. No.
Let's talk about what you do. And you went to school for performing arts, right?
Yes, yeah. I actually started my college career studying musical theater. And so I did theater, acting, singing, dancing, the whole shebang. And then I decided to transfer and get a degree in journalism and creative writing. Because my heart was in the storytelling of performing, and
of course
I wanted to learn how to effectively do that. And yeah, that I started performing arts, vocal performance, musical theater, and then transitioned to journalism and creative writing.
Ashleigh, you have you've been when you sent me this song, I noticed what a deep well. It's such a peppy little song, and then you realize the name of it is Synthetic Serotonin, and you realize, okay, this is not your little bubblegum pop kind of song. Where did this song come from?
Yeah, well, it came from a place of I started wanting to write the song in the middle of quarantine because I was in this place of every day, you're watching different films with these amazing, like climactic moments. And then you turn on the news and you're like, oh, the world is ending. And trying to understand like these vast events that are happening, but they're not happening to you, but they're still affecting you. And so trying to grapple with that emotion while also understanding that these things might not be affecting you per se. And so that doesn't mean that you can't still go on and keep living your life and keep experiencing things, because you are. And I think when I finally sat down, I started writing this on a plane, on the first like plane flight that I'd been on since the pandemic. And we've talked about this. I have horrible flight anxiety. Like it's
as
so
I
bad.
do.
Yeah, I'm actually flying to Dallas tomorrow, and I already am like, okay, just like doing my breathing and like trying to mentally prepare.
Yes.
But I wrote this on my first flight since the pandemic, and it was a very strange moment in time for me because I wasn't anxious on the flight. I was anxious about everything else. And it was a rare occurrence where I was on a plane and I was like, I'm calm. I'm going to use this time because, you have 2-3 hours in the air. And I was like, I'm going to use this time and I'm going to write. And so I just kind of channeled that feeling of that was such a big change for me, right? To experience this change of, oh, flights aren't terrifying anymore. So I'm changing, my life is changing, but also the world feels like it's not moving at all. And so that's kind of where the song was born out of.
Well, we're going to play it. It's your very first single. And this is like a step off into the canyon. It's like you made the step and everything appeared. And
yes.
You got the producer and everything. And I'm so proud to share this. This is Synthetic Serotonin. Before we play this is going to be our goodbye to you, but tell people how they can find out more about you.
Yes. You can find me on Instagram at Ashleigh Ray Official. And you can also find me on Facebook, Ashleigh Ray Music. And if you want to shoot me an email, it's ashleighraymusic@gmail.com.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well, we're going to play the song right now, Synthetic Serotonin, a lyric video, because you're going to want to see how deep these lyrics are. We're going to talk again real soon, okay?
Thanks.
We interrupt our normal Normal broadcasting will now be discontinued for an indefinite period.
St. Peter, searching for his golden gates. Feels like Judgment Day is on its way. The lights are flashing, no one's safe. I'm in this modern western, riding on a pale horse, playing death. Oh, tell me what's it all for? The wild, wild west is inside these four walls. Remind me that I've already lost it all. I feel the seasons changing. I'm probably changing too. I know that time is fading. I'm feeling faded too. I'm gonna burn out, I'm gonna slow down, babe. I'm lost in all these catacombs, alone in the slaughterhouse, my idea of a home. Walking the streets with a clouded conscience, every step with blinded faith. The cities are empty, but my ghosts are busy. A graveyard for my mistakes. I'm in this modern western, riding on a pale horse, playing death. Tell me what's it all for? The wild, wild west is inside these four walls. Remind me that I've already lost it all. I feel the seasons changing. I'm probably changing too. I know that time is fading. I'm feeling faded too. I'm gonna burn out, I'm gonna slow down, babe. I'm lost in all these catacombs, alone in the slaughterhouse, my idea of a home. So shoot me up, yeah, shoot me up with that synthetic serotonin. Shoot me up, yeah, shoot me up with that synthetic serotonin. Shoot me up, yeah, shoot me up with that synthetic serotonin. Shoot me up, yeah, shoot me up with that synthetic serotonin. Shoot me up, yeah, shoot me up with that synthetic serotonin. Shoot me up, yeah, shoot me up with that synthetic serotonin. I'm in the modern western, riding on a pale horse, playing death. The villains unaccounted for. I feel the seasons changing. I'm probably changing too. And I know that time is fading. The credits will fade out soon. I'm gonna burn out, slow down, babe. I'm lost in all these catacombs. I'm gonna burn out, slow down, babe. I'm lost in all these catacombs, alone in the slaughterhouse, my idea of a home.
Y'all, isn't that amazing? Ashleigh Ray Official. Find her on socials, follow her. She's amazing. And I've adopted her as just, she's closer than a cousin now. she's family. And I just, it's her very first single. I mean, I've heard a lot of first singles in my life, but I went, holy moly. It's just amazing. And that's also what I said when I went to Dixon. The Fussell shop it's a true menswear shop that, you know, they take care of you. And when you think menswear, you always think suits and stuff. But I want to talk to Tim Spann, who is our guest right now. And Tim is at the Fussell shop right now, and he's standing right in front of the Carhartt display, which is perfect for this time of year. How are you, Tim?
Doing well. How are you this morning?
Fantastic. You have some of the best names in menswear, and it's not just suits. I mean, you have the Wall of Levi's. And the Wranglers. I was talking to someone the other day. They said, "Where can you get like real Levi's anymore? You just can't find them anywhere." Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. That's right. Pretty much any size you can think of also.
And all the different styles. Now, I just want to tell you, I worked in retail for about 2 minutes in my whole life, and keeping a denim wall neat is a job. It's
Yeah.
just hard. It is a constant job. Tell people a little bit about the history of Fuzzles and how you ended up having. And I'm gonna show some pictures as we talk about it, because I think that might be kind of cool to see some of the places. And if people haven't been to Dixon, it's just wonderful to go down and see some real retail stores. Let's tell me a little bit about when you bought Fuzzles.
So we purchased, my wife and I purchased the business in September of 13 from the Fussell family. Mr. Norman started this business in 1936, so we're almost 85 years old, going strong, and he passed about 1980, so his three daughters ran the business until we purchased it from them in 13. It's pretty much in the same location. It had moved across the alley, but it's been back here since 1968, I think. And we're just very appreciative of all the support that the community is given.
Well, I know that we talked about the Carhartt because you got Carhartt like crazy. And if you have never worn Carhartt this time of year, especially if you're like me and you've got a farm, Carhartt is a big deal.
Carhartt is a big deal. You're right. It's
it's like an investment piece of apparel because it lasts forever.
And there's a statement made, you're just paying for a name. And there's some truth in that. You are paying for that name. It's a quality name. It's a quality piece. They invest a lot into their products and to make sure that they make the best product available. And so there's some truth in that. Yeah, you might pay a little bit more for a piece, but it's going to last you a long time.
Well, another name that you've got, and I love it because it's a true men's store, and you've got is this Case knives that you have.
Knives.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Still American made. It's nothing like a good pocket knife in your hand. When someone buys one, I say, "Oh, that's one of my favorites." I pretty much say that about everyone that we sell. But of the stag handles, especially those prime stags, they're thick. They haven't been cut down as much, and it's just a good feeling piece in your hand. But we sell a lot of bone handle knives. It's just different pocket knives for different needs for different people, and it's fun.
And I love that you also because we are in Dixon, and the worker is not necessarily looking for a 3-piece suit, but they do look for a good Red Wing boot.
Exactly. And we try to carry a good selection and a good stock from very small to very large sizes. And the Red Wing work selection is still pretty much 80% American made, which is good. And we also have some more casual styles also that helps out. You don't always want to be in a work boot, so there's some other boots also that we can sell you.
Well, and sometimes you go to church and you want those Johnston & Murphy and those Florsheim's, and you have that as well. It's like a full service menswear store that you have. And this is another cool thing that I loved, is that you also have formal wear rental right there in Dixon at Fuzzles.
We do. Yes, ma'am. I tell people, if we don't have it, you don't need it. So we do a lot of formal wear business, from proms to weddings to other events in between, and very thankful for that business also.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the sizes that you have, because we go through that. You have menswear, but you also have youth sizes as well.
We do. We start at a 3 month and a overall and a jean for a little boy, and then we go up to a size 60 for men, whether that be jeans or suit. So we can, we can fit pretty much anybody around here.
We got our Wranglers and we've got our Levi's and we've got pretty much anything you could want in clothing for a male in your family. We've got everything you'd need at Fussell's. Where are you located? And the other thing, you also, it's just like a real men's shop. You have alterations.
Yes, yes, we have a fabulous young lady that's been doing alterations for about 55 years. I would say that she's pretty much done everything that you can imagine, for some very big names to just, people like me. So she's got quite a list of things she's done in her lifetime. She's done pieces for the Dallas Cowboys, for Hank Jr. So now at Fuzzles with us and does a fabulous job. We're very thankful for Miss CC.
Oh, well, we're thankful for you. I just love shining the light. See, today we've been to Joelton, we've been to Chicago, we have been to Dixon. We're about to head to we're about to head to Springfield, but where can people find you in Dixon?
We are right down on Main Street in Dixon, Tennessee, historic downtown Dixon. It's a great place to come and spend the day. You can shop here, shop other places, grab a bite to eat, and just have a time.
I'll guarantee you can find some good barbecue in Dixon. I'm just going to say. Thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to head to Springfield now because Middle Tennessee has some cool places, and one of the winners of our Main Street Awards for wings and one of the best brew houses you can go to anywhere in Middle Tennessee, BS Brew Works. Shane Shoemaker is with us. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I am blown away by how popular wings have gotten just in the past few years. I mean, they have become the thing that people go to a place for.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wings used to be the throwaway scrap of the chicken, and that is simply not the case anymore. They're in high demand. Sometimes we run into a little difficulty getting them. So, but we've been able to keep our wing fans supplied very well through this cold weather since we introduced those last year to our menu.
Shane, when did you start BS Brew Works?
Well, my good friend Bob Smith and I started home brewing about 6.5 years ago. That's a common story amongst small breweries. You have the production side of the world that is just focused on getting as much product out into as many venues, bars, restaurants, theaters, etc. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's some great beer that is made that way by folks like Bell's and Boston and Dogfish and Sierra and all those folks. And a lot of those folks they head into that with very formal training at one of the brewing institutes. Most of the small breweries and certainly the community brew pubs like we have are typically started by home brewers who just fall in love with the craft. And I've often said that when you're giving beer away to friends, they say it's good. Free beer is always good. But when folks started offering to buy beer from us, we were like, well, maybe there's something we're doing here that's better than just free beer. We were both at points in our careers where we'd been doing the same thing for a long time. I was in IT, Bob was in mechanical drawing and drafting, CAD stuff, and we looked at the idea, started looking for space here in Springfield, put together a business plan, had some wonderful folks come alongside us to invest with us. And alongside us to get this space open. And so now here, almost 17 months later from our opening date, here we are.
and you are, and you're full force, and go through some of the different flavors and the different, do you call them flavors? Different types of beer that you have.
Oh, sure. Flavors, styles, however you want to look at that. When we opened with six beers on tap. That was all we could ramp up to do at the time. Right now, we're anywhere from 10 to 14 on tap just a year later. So we feel really good about that. The tastes here are not like you're going to find in on the West Coast, Portland, Seattle, the birthplace of the American IPA style, etc. We have focused primarily on what would be called standard styles, and these styles didn't exist prior to at least not much in America, prior to the repeal of the prohibition on homebrewing back in 1978. Jimmy Carter actually signed that into law for us to allow people to make a certain amount of beer at home, and it was that
because of his brother.
Yeah. Well, that was Billy Beer. That's not craft.
he just had, that was his lobbyist.
Well, could be, but a lot of the styles that had simply disappeared post-prohibition were resurrected by homebrewers who weren't happy with just factory beer. They wanted to see how many different directions beer could go, things that had been lost in this country for decades. And so we focus on a lot of those styles, everything from just a really good lagered Pilsner beer and blonde on up through ambers, Irish red, and English brown. Now, right now, like I said, we have 12 on tap at the moment, and they run the gamut from a basic blonde, our Bobcat blonde, which is very popular, all the way up through an oatmeal stout, which some people would refer to as bread in a glass, just because of its darkness and its almost viscosity. Light does not pass through that one.
That would be my favorite.
That would be your favorite.
Yeah.
And then we love the hoppy things as well. So we always have a good West Coast style IPA. Our Shady West is almost always on tap, along with an APA or two. We just rolled out a first commercial brew of an APA that we actually, when we were homebrewing, won a gold medal at the New South Brew Off for. And it was actually a mistake, and as thus we didn't have real succinct notes on that, and so we decided a couple of weeks ago we were going to try and actually more than a couple of weeks ago to emulate and bring that beer back around to what we thought we remembered it tasting like, and we think we hit it pretty closely. So it's been interesting to see people come in and want to sample or have a taste of that beer, because when you say you've won a medal with something, it kind of piques people's interest, to say the least.
So I want some of that. Well, we better make some.
And we hope you like it.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that I went through your menu too, and other than wings, the thing that got me was your house-made pimento cheese. Holy moly.
Oh yes, we have people who buy that by the pint to go out of here. Yes, that one is scratch made. Karen's my wife Karen is our kitchen manager and takes care of all that, the menu and the planning of that. So it is extremely popular, along with of course there's our hot beer cheese you're showing.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's made with our Yellow Jacket APA in the base. So anything that we can do from scratch here, or not pre-prepare. Sometimes when we get busy and folks order wings and they're wondering why it's taking so long, it's because we do those to order. Our nachos and wings and our hot foods are all done to order, so things aren't sitting under a heat lamp getting funky. So sometimes, especially on Friday night, Saturday nights when it can be standing only here, we just have to ask for people's patience, because those items are so very popular.
I love how you've done things, but during a pandemic, there was something that you told me in the pre-interview, the story that you told me, because you were a brand new business and bam, COVID hit. And your people showed up. You were doing curbside, you were doing whatever, and what did your people there in Springfield tell you?
When we had to shut down there that third, fourth week of March to just carry out curbside only, we didn't know what we were going to do. We were barely 6 months old at that point, which is not a long time in the restaurant brew pub industry to establish a following. And we were geared up for carry out because we already had that licensing, but people started coming in or calling up to place orders, and literally time and again, our customers who had become so loyal in that short amount of time would look at us day after day and say, "We will be here. We are not going to let you fail. You mean too much to us and the community, the space that you've created here for people just to gather and put their phones down and take time to talk to each other, make new friends." So we couldn't have survived without the Springfield community, quite frankly. If we had been in Davidson County, we would not have made it with the restrictions that they had in place and still have in place in some cases.
That makes me cry every time I hear you say that. We're Springfield. We will not let you fail. It hit my heart, and I want to share that because that's the way we feel here at Main Street Media. We want to tell the stories of Middle Tennessee and how people are working together to keep each other alive, keep each other safe, keep each other in business. And that's what's happening. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, absolutely. And as we we support other restaurant industry folks, the Depot across the street, or Public House, or Baldwin's, or Larry's, or all these local homegrown folks. And it's not to say that the people who are working at the franchises don't deserve support also, because those are local jobs. Those are people who need support as well. But we talk about shopping local, and people are like, well, at this point, aren't you? You're just swapping dollars back and forth. It's like, yes, but the morale boost in doing that is immeasurable in a time such as we have gone through for this nearly a year now.
BS Brewworks, how do they find you online? Because you're going to want to make the trip to lovely Springfield. It's a gorgeous place in Middle Tennessee. I always say, get away from the fray and head out to Middle Tennessee. All the wheels, all the spokes go to someplace very cool. How do they find you?
Well, we are at 1010 South Main Street in Springfield. We're right beside the railroad tracks. CSX has been kind enough not to roll a train through during this interview, or we would have had to be quiet for a minute. We're right across the street from the Depot restaurant. One of our good friends, Doug Voice, and his crew over there do a great job. Very popular spot. So we're just a couple of blocks off of the downtown area, just to the south. We have plenty of parking, and we have plenty of beer and good food, and most importantly, really good fellowship. We're smoke-free. We're family-friendly. When the weather's amenable, we have a nice patio out front, so people can bring their dogs and sit out and enjoy space with them as well. So we're here 3 to 9 Tuesday through Thursday, 3 to 10 on Friday, noon to 10 on Saturday, and 3 to 8 on Sunday.
Thank you so much, Shane, for your time. bsbrewers.com, and you can find them on Facebook too. And I'm going to come there just for the pimento cheese alone.
Oh, one more thing. We just recently became a Preds approved watch space for Predators games. So we show those as much as we can and as often as we can during our hours, which is easier this year since they're all East and Central time. None of those 9 o'clock crazy late starts. So we've had the Chicago games on the last 2 nights. Go Preds! They won both of those. So another great reason to come in and hang out with us.
Absolutely. Well, you had me at pimento cheese. I'm sorry. And that was the oatmeal stout?
Yes, the Three Forks oatmeal stout.
Ooh, my goodness. BS Brewworks. Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate you, Shane.
We appreciate you, Devin. Thank you much.
Thanks. We're going to go now to, I'm going to separate this because I want you to hear this voice. Now, I had not met Coby Greer before, And very few people can deliver just hanging out, singing with a guitar. I want you to hear his voice. It's wonderful, and it's real, and it's rich. And we're going to meet him right after we hear this.
I'll do, me and Bobby Bear went back and recorded one of his old songs. You remember Bobby Bear? Detroit City? We went back and did this. This has gotten a lot of airplay, and we certainly appreciate it. Teardrops fell on Mama's note when I read the thing she wrote. She said, "We miss you, son, we love you, come on home." But I didn't have to pack. I had it all right on my back. And I'm 500 miles away from home. Away from home, away from home. Cold and tired and all alone. Yes, I'm 500 miles away from home. Can't remember when I ate. It's just thumb and walk and wait. But I'm still 500 miles away from home. But if my luck had been just right, I'd be with them all tonight. But I'm still 500 miles away from home. Away from home, away from home. Cold and tired and all alone. Yes, I'm 500 miles away from home.
Oh my goodness. Coby Greer, how are you?
Hey, Devin, I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm just fabulous. I love your voice. Your voice feels like home.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And you've got a project that's in the works that's actually going to feature Bobby Bear on it.
Yes, ma'am. Bear came in and recorded on that particular song, and it was released about 3 years ago. He did that about 3 years ago, and got a ton of clicks and downloads and all that stuff. And then Billy Lawson and I started recording all these classic songs that we love, just as fun, because these throwbacks were getting so much attention online. Well, we've got a full album of that. So they took the single off, and they're going to repackage it with an album. And Georgette Jones has came and sung with me as well. Charlie Pride was supposed to come in and sing and do a track with me. And bless his heart, he passed away. But we're looking for that to be out probably March, April.
Well, I will say that you've had a lot of folks who have joined you. We got some folks over on our Main Street page. Wow, what a voice. And then we've got another person, Cindy Overdorf, love that Bear and 500 miles and that twang. And of course, we love our applause when people just give us some emoji clapping hands. And thank you guys so much for joining in. And we love when you guys share and you're part of our show. And we really are kind of integrating what our community is all about. Coby, where are you from?
I'm from Alabama.
Of course you are.
Can't you tell? Sand Mountain, Alabama. Boaz, Sardis. I either have to claim Boaz or Gadsden usually. But I've been road dogging since I was about 13 or 14. So home is wherever I am at the time, I think,
How did you meet Bobby Bear? How did you meet? And what was that first meeting like?
I'd actually opened some shows for Bear years ago. But you know how that is. You know, you get there, you do your part, the headliner gets there right as you wrap up, and you meet briefly. And so there was no way he could have possibly remembered me. Or he might have. I don't know. He's pretty sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I wanted to do a couple of Bear songs, I called a mutual friend of ours that works for that plays drums for Bear. No. Let me take that back. I called Kent Goodson, who played keyboards for George Jones.
Amazing keyboard player. He and Dinah Sherrill play over at the Nashville Palace over there and at the at John A's.
Yeah. And I've known Kent since I was way back in high school, back when I used to hang around with George and those guys. So I called Kent, and Kent knew the drummer, so he called and asked Bear if he would do it. And he said, well, send me the track. And we sent him the track, and yeah, he replied right away and said, yeah, I'd love to sing on it. And now that's, we've come pretty close because of that. And that's a great honor for me.
Well, they re-released American Saturday Night, and that's a fabulous project, and I encourage everybody to get a copy of that. But I tell you what, Coby, Greer, when we get to go and see people live, I want to make sure that everybody is able to find you. Where can they find you on the net? At
Coby Greer Music, and that's Coby. Most people want to spell it like I'm a basketball player. It's Coby Greer, like what's right there, music. And that's all platforms, and you can find me there.
Coby, thank you for your time today. I so appreciate you. You're just there's a comfort to your voice. Bear told me this, and I guess I'll call him Bear too. He told me one time, he said, Devin, he said, I've been homesick all my life. You can hear it in all my songs. And I thought that was one of the most profound things, because that song has such longing, but it's sung by you and your voice feels like home. And I love that right behind your head, you've got something that says home.
Well, I kind of share the same sentiment as Bear. You know, I kind of know where he's coming from there.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess it's that way with most people who travel a lot and are here today and gone tomorrow.
It's tough. And especially in this time, we need those things that make us feel rooted and grounded. So thank you for giving us that today for this show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. We sure appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, I want to, before we get out of here, a big shout out. If you are looking for health insurance, I have a dear friend who is my insurance agent. And can you have a friend who's an insurance agent? Yeah, you actually can. One that looks out for you. One that says, hey, by the way, he actually calls this, have you been to the doctor? You need to, when you want to get your checkup, your yearly checkup, remember, we have special rates. Your plan does this. Now, he is licensed in 40 states. How on earth can he keep up with me and some of his other people? But he calls them on the phone and reminds them, hey, by the way, if you haven't gotten your checkups yet, here's what your plan covers. It's crazy, that kind of personal touch. And when you start working with him, he just gives you his cell phone. And he works all the time. And I've called him at weird hours and go, look, I've got to go tomorrow. And I need help. I need my card, and he'll email it to me. It's just really cool. Anyway, I'm going to let you hear from Harvey Durham. If you find yourself in need of health insurance, one Google search and a questionnaire could start your phone ringing and those emails and those texts coming from companies all over. And it can be really confusing. And sometimes you get caught up in buying something only to find that it covers very little of what you actually need. And sometimes it can be too late to do anything about it. You know, after the fact, like when you need your insurance. That's why one click to my friend, my insurance guy, Health Insurance Harvey, can keep that from happening. HarveyDurham.com. Chat with him, set up a virtual appointment anywhere in the country practically. He's licensed in 40 states. He'll look at your needs, your budget, and share every single thing that his insurance is going to cover and what it won't. You don't pay for what you don't need. If he can't save you money or can't give you better coverage, he won't sign you. You are under no obligation. So do yourself a favor.
Get a free comparison quote from Health Insurance Harvey. It just might work for you like it did me. I'm not his commercial announcer. I'm his client at harveydurham.com.
And I am his client, and I am so glad that you guys joined us for the show. Jameson Siebert from Monster Home Services. They're in Joelton, Tennessee. Ashleigh Ray Music, official. Check her out. And Tim Spann from Fussell's Men's Shop in Dixon, Tennessee. Over to Springfield to Shane Shoemaker and BS Brew Works, bsbrewers.com. And of course, Coby Greer. He has a rodeo name. Out of chute number 5, Coby Greer. He is one of those great names and a great voice. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today as much as I did. Like we always say, be safe, be kind, and remember, you are loved.